And now joined by Christina Haugan. She is the wife of the late Humboldt Broncos coach and former coach of the North Peace Navigators, Darcy Haugan, on this weekend, April 6th. Difficult weekend, I imagine, for everybody. And Christina, thanks so much for making time for us today. And you and I have chatted throughout the years. Why don't we just start with, as you approach this day today, how do you process it?
You know, honestly, it is just another date on the calendar for us. We don't miss him anymore or any less on this day. However, it is the date that our life changed. So I guess it's momentous in that manner, and I guess you're just made more aware of it just because of everyone else realizing it. So, I mean, it is just another day, but a nice day to, I think we're at the point now, 6 years in, that, well, we're always going to miss Darcy and we're always going to love him and we're always going to remember him. It's easier to maybe remember some of the fond memories as opposed to the horribleness that day was 6 years ago now.
There are many people that have gone through grief and lost family members, and that doesn't often happen on an international stage. Yours happened on an international stage. As I hear you saying that we don't miss him anymore or less, is how much has that made it a little bit difficult or easier for you to process in that journey? Just to process and to be able to work through it, just being as it's an international stage that did happen on.
Oh, it was hard. Like originally it was awful. You know, you feel like everyone's watching every move that you make, so you don't feel necessarily able to grieve the way you need to. It probably took well over a year before it even kind of really you were able to do any of that. And then some of it you just have to tune out. There's been some really good things in that aspect, and some really awful things in the same aspect of the publicity and the media and that public stage, but you just do the best you can.
Now we've seen Carson playing for the Navigators, Jackson going through Prairie Hockey Academy, and just continuing the legacy of Darcy, the two boys playing together as well. How special is that for you as a mother, and obviously knowing that how proud Darcy would be to see that?
Yeah, well, the hockey rink's still a really hard place for me, honestly, but I do love watching my kids play. So when it's my kids on the ice, it makes it a little easier. Carson coming back to the Navs, it was a pretty cool moment. I never imagined seeing our last name on the back of a jersey because Darcy always coached. So it's been pretty cool seeing him do that and seeing him do well. And I know he's the type of player that Darcy would have recruited and would have wanted here. So that's pretty special too. And my boys have a really special relationship between the two of them. They're very close, and so anytime I get to see them on the ice together, it's extra special for sure.
In interviewing some of the players that have played for Darcy over the years, just hearing the kinds of things they speak about him, just the integrity and the work ethic that they still carry to this day in their lives. What does that mean to you when you hear those things? It's
really special because there was so many years that he invested so much into some of those guys, and to see the impact that he made and the legacy that he left, and to see them, I know like this Lacrete team that's here this weekend, a lot of the guys organizing that team were previous players of his as well, and how they're trying to run it very similarly to how Darcy modeled here, and then I guess the Navs as well, right? It's really neat to see them, I guess, following in his footsteps a little bit and taking that and living it forward.
How often do you come back to Peace River? Obviously the statue out front of the building as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see. Every time I walk by, it's a catch in your throat for sure to see him there, and I think he would be absolutely floored. He would never have imagined or expected anything close to this. He just did what he did because he loved it, and it was the right thing to do. He would never ever expected anything in return. So it is very cool that they honor him in that way. And I was talking to a friend from when we lived here last night, and she said that every single time if she sees and even her kids, if they see snow, if it snows, they're the first ones out there shoveling and sweeping him off, and her kids are the ones doing it. And I'm like, that's really cool that they think enough of that statue that the moment they see snow on it or anything on it, that they're clearing it off and keeping it special.
We had chatted a number of years ago, and as you were journeying through this process, you spoke about your faith and the ability to have that to navigate through the difficult situations. How much has that been a strength for you?
Oh, huge strength, and I just don't know how you could manage a situation like this without it, to be entirely honest. And the people that it's also, that those relationships that it's brought, that have supported us all the way through, that have the same beliefs and have the same faith, and that have continued to kind of uphold us. It's been amazing.
What would you want people to know about, when they run into you now? Obviously it was a little bit different, the first year, as you did allude to in the interview there. What would you like people to know about when they run into you and see you, and from the side of remembering Darcy, just to who your family is now today?
Well, I guess one of the first questions people often ask us is how we're doing. And, it's kind of a loaded question, depending on the day. We're doing well. My kids are phenomenal human beings. Like, I can't say enough about how incredible both my boys are, and to see so much of Darcy in them, and to see kind of those parts coming out as they grow up and mature is really cool. I mean, they're both playing hockey, they're going to school, they're very social and active. Like, they're just incredible human beings. And so to see how they are, it's just amazing. So we're doing well. I mean, it doesn't mean that we don't have bad days and we don't have all of those things, and it doesn't mean that we're over it. I think there's just this stigma in grief that you're either good or bad, and I don't think that that's a thing. I think you're both all of the time. But I mean, we're continuing to move forward. We're taking one step at a time. And I mean, if you see the kids the men that my boys are becoming, it's, makes everything worth it.
As every April 6th comes, is there a tradition you do as a family to remember? And I guess, does it get easier? I don't know if that's even the right question to ask, but do you guys find a way to honor it together?
Well, generally we try to go away together during this time. Now, however, hockey's kind of stepped on that this year. Darcy loved sports, and Darcy also loved to get away, and he loved the beach and the sunshine and warm. So typically when hockey season would end, we would always try to, as a family, get away for a little bit. So around this time, we would always do it anyway. So a few years it's worked. It doesn't always work at the exact day, but we do try to get away together. And so we try to go to like a sporting event somewhere warm is kind of what we have tried to do. And those days are awesome, but this, I'll watch my son play hockey tomorrow instead, and I will enjoy that as well.
And just in that game, in this town that people say Darcy Haugan built, playing for a provincial championship weekend, how special is that for you to see your son out there?
Oh, it's really special. He was really excited to be able to play, and anytime I get to watch him on the ice, I love it.
And anything else, Christina, just about the journey and about your family or yourself as well on this day and through this process?
I don't think so. I think, we're taking it a day at a time still, even 6 years in. And ultimately, I think Darcy would be proud of us.
Yeah, Carson, first of all, what does it mean to you just to be able to wear the Navigators jersey and play hockey here where Dad spent so many years?
Means a lot. I grew up all around the team. Like, I gave them fist bumps after every game after they won growing up, and I really looked up to them, so it means a lot to play for them now.
Yeah, just take me into the opportunity and the decision to come up here to Peace River and a chance to play for them.
Yeah, I started a year out in BC, and I wasn't loving it out in BC, and I got an opportunity to come back a lot closer to home and play for the team I grew up watching, so I took it, and yeah, I've loved it.
When you walk up to the rink and you see that statue of Dad, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. so a lot smaller than the statue's a lot smaller than I remember him. But yeah, no, it's pretty special how much that the town did that and what it means.
Yeah, when you walk into the dressing room and you see his fingerprints everywhere and just the memories, what goes through your mind?
Not a whole lot. It's pretty cool just that they've honored and respected how he did things for so many years and just kept a lot of his traditions going, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, Carson, not an easy day. April 6th, I'm sure it's very few people can imagine what it's been like for you to process and walk through that journey. What's the journey been like for you since that day?
It's been long. Like it's been good. Like my mom has supported me in so many ways, and she's done such a great job. I can't thank her enough for what she's done. And then, yeah, just I think it brought me and my brother closer. He's my best friend still to this day, and yeah, it hasn't been easy, but I don't like to pity myself or take any, what's the word? No disadvantage, or just like to be treated like normal.
Absolutely. I remember back when I interviewed your mom a number of years ago, and she talked about that day when it happened, and she said just the maturity and strength from you and Jackson that you drew together. Is that something that Dad maybe instilled in you and just the family to be able to, fight through difficult circumstances?
I think so. I think everything I remember about him was just always calm, level-headed, no matter what difficulties it brought on. So I think it kind of took a page out of his book. And yeah.
I've done some interviews with some of the guys who've played for Darcy, and they say the similar things that Ty Weeb had mentioned, that when he first met him at 16, he was intimidated by him because he's big and bald, and he said it was kind of the opposite. He was sort of the gentle giant. Is that replicate what you saw?
Oh yeah, he was very calm, like even in his day-to-day life. If he ever rose his voice or got mad, you were really scared, but no, he rarely ever did, and he was always calm and cool and collected.
Maybe just speak a bit about your relationship with Jackson and the two of you guys, and as you continue to go through the path, Jackson playing at Prairie Hockey Academy, and then yourself as well wearing the Navigators jersey. What does that mean?
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool that I got to play with him last year and got to drive him to school every day, so that was always fun, him showing me all new music, and he usually took a nap in my car on the way to school. But no, he's my best friend, and I was so glad I got to spend that year with him. And yeah, me and him will always be there for each other, and yeah, he means a lot to me.
What do you want people to remember about Darcy, or maybe even when they hear the Haugan name and they run into you? What would you like people to know?
Just the legacy my dad created, and just how you treat people matters, and that everyone, no matter who they are, deserves respect, and you treat everyone well, you treat everybody the same.
You're getting to play a game on April 6th. You have an opportunity to play for a provincial championship this weekend. How powerful is that moment to you, and what are you going to do when you approach the game? Are you going to approach it any differently?
I don't think so. Honestly, I've been kind of putting it off. I'm not going to deal with it until it comes, and take it as it comes. And yeah, I think I'll just deal with it once it comes, and I don't think I'm going to change anything in my day-to-day routine. Yeah.
I really appreciate your time and sharing this. I know it's not easy. Is there anything else just about Darcy or your mom or your family, and yeah, maybe just a little bit about your mom and seeing the strength that she's been able to, walk with you guys and draw your family closer together?
Yeah, no, she's been great. She's supported me in everything I've done, and she's always had my corner, so I can't thank her enough, and I love her so much for that.
Just a tough day, really. I mean, Darth had a pretty big impact on my life. Right from when I was in midgets, calling me up as an affiliate, to out of midgets playing for the Navs, and I ended up having to quit hockey because of concussions. And then even after that, Darce always made room for me around the team. He always treated us not just as players, but as people too. And he wanted us to succeed in life, not just at hockey. He was one of the best coaches, he was the best coach that I've ever had. He taught me more about life in a short amount of time than probably anybody else. It's just a hard day. I mean, he had such a big impact, not only on me, but everybody around. To this day, I still have, from the day of the accident, I had a hat that Darce gave me. And to this day, it sits on my dashboard of my vehicle. That it's somewhere I see every day. The ribbon that we got during the funeral, it is in my vehicle as well. Just the love he had for his family, that a lot of other people didn't get to see that part. I was able to see that part, and it just emphasizes the type of man that Darce was. He was amazing. Like I said, it's hard to put into words, even to this day. It's been a few years now, obviously, but it's still hard. He was bigger than the game, and like I said, the impact that he had on the people around him was amazing. It was truly something that I'm glad I was able to witness.
How long have you known Darcy Haugan for?
I've known Darcy all my life. We grew up together, probably 7-8 years old in Peace River here. Went up through minor hockey in the ranks and up till Bantams, and didn't get a chance to play with him in junior, but I've known Darcy all my life pretty much.
And then right into coaching as well.
Yeah, so when he came back in 2003, he approached me to be the assistant coach with the Navigators, and I happily accepted. I knew coaching with Darcy would be a lot of fun and a lot of hard work, but I knew what kind of a person he was, and that's who I wanted to be associated with.
I hear that a lot, what kind of person he was. What from your perspective, what kind of guy was Darcy?
Darcy was just all about the players, all about the camaraderie of the team, how you were as an individual. We could always develop talent and teams. We did throughout the years, but he was such a caring, loving man. Just being with him on the bench, seeing how he interacted with all the young kids that we saw together in 12 years, how we just brought teams together and stuff. He was just, like you say, just a kind human being and the nicest man you'll ever be. Have have him as a friend first, and then to be able to coach with him, it was the best time of my life here in Peace River, coaching with Darce.
Do you have any specific memories, maybe from coaching interactions, that you want to share?
Well, I know when we played in 2008 and we were down 3-1 to Whitecourt Wolverines, is when they were starting to get, take on the league, and we were down 3-1 to them, and we lost Game 4 in Whitecourt, and Darcy was quite down, and I told him on the bus ride home, I said, we're going to win this in 7, and we kind of just brought his spirits back up on the way home, and ended up winning the next 3 games, and that was one of our funnest championships, just coming back from the adversity. And Darcy, he was down and out there in Whitecourt, but I'll always remember that conversation I had with him on the bus.
How has the journey been for you, Russell, since April 6, 6 years ago to today?
Well, like you say, I lost my best friend. I missed the guy. He was when he took off to Humboldt. He called me a lot, just to, in his time there, and because he was trying to rebuild that team as he did here with the Navs, and he was just a kind human being, and he was like my brother too, right? Like growing up right from when we were little kids in Peace River playing hockey, and it was a tragic day, and I just miss him a lot, and just miss those conversations and those personal one-on-ones that we used to have.
You walk into the rink and you see the statue out front, and not the rink that you coached in, but still the legacy here with Darcy Haugan's name around. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's just nice to see it. I came back and I saw it when they put it up, and I think Peace River did a great job, and you have to honor people like that. Darcy gave his heart and soul to this community. It wasn't just the hockey. He was out in the community talking to companies around here, corporations, people. He did a lot with schools, and it's good that they got that statue there to remember that legacy, and people can read that and see what this guy did. Put his heart and soul into this community, and especially where he grew up.
Yeah, Darcy, he was really an X and O type coach. Like his smarts of the game was a big thing that he passed on. So yeah, like even me moving forward with hockey and still do, like I said, a lot of that intelligent part of the game where it's not just go, like reading and reacting. And he was so good at, setting up power plays or penalty kill units and even face-off plays, right? Like a lot of that stuff where it was just, he would take the time to teach it. It wasn't just hit even in practice. Like it was always, the practices were always detailed and a lot of time into it. It wasn't just go out there and scrimmage and shoot the puck around and warm the goalies up, right? Like it was, so yeah, that's the biggest thing I remember as a coach, what he did, right? Was just a lot of the intelligence side of the game. Yeah, that was awesome to do that for him outside our rink. It wasn't the rink we played with him here. Obviously, it's a new arena now, but yeah, just to have that there, and every time you walk into the rink now, it's cool. Just just a quick glance as you walk by. And yeah, like I said, your brain just gets going, your memories start turning, and yeah, I had 2 good years with him. We went to the finals, and the one year we had probably one of the best teams. He told me it was one of the best teams he ever coached. Just we were good on the ice, and we were such a close group off the ice. So, stuff like that he tells you, and it sticks with you for life for sure.
He was very intimidating to me at the time when I was 16 years old. Obviously a big guy, he's bald, and he looked tough, but he was super welcoming. He was very, very easy to talk to as far as that goes. Once you got to know him a little bit, his sense of humor always stood out. He had a way. It was my 6th or my 5th year there. He was handing out toques for the team, and he got to my toque number, and he kind of asked, like, do we have a number 13 or whatever? And it just it kind of caught me off guard, or whatever. Just little things like that, just to kind of make you think a little bit, put you in your place a little bit. He was always good at that. So he was a very honest man. I think the way he treated his family, the way he demanded respect for not only himself as a head coach, but for his family, for his boys. Man of faith, obviously, and he was not afraid to share that and to let it be known amongst the team and amongst the organization. And as much as he was maybe the most competitive person that I ever met, he knew that there was things bigger than hockey, and he held those values very closely to him, and he made sure that guys on the team and players around him knew that that's what he stood for as well.
Yeah, I think it was the best hockey that league has ever seen. Whitecourt was this fresh new team, and Darcy had a dynasty that he had built with the Navigators, where they went. I think they had beat Fort St. John the year prior. So here comes Whitecourt Wolverines in the league, and I think there was only one trade ever done in the NWJHL. It was between Darcy Haugan and Joey Bouchard. He traded Jeff Chalafu to Whitecourt, and we traded 2 boxes of pizza. Darcy says, we'll just take some pizza for Jeff, and that's good enough, Joey. So anyways, Jeff ended up coming to Whitecourt, and the rest is history there. But we had some battles. We were in battles all year, that inaugural year in 2007. And then we were up 3-1 against Peace River in the finals in our first year. We were feeling really good about ourselves. But then, of course, the Navigators came back and beat us in Game 7. We were up by a goal with about 15 seconds to go when we were leading the series 3-1. But we turned the puck over in our end, and a defenseman from Peace River ended up scoring a goal. They tied it, and then they scored in overtime, and then Peace River took off from there. Navigators won the championship. So that's one thing that comes to mind. For sure, a memory of Darcy and us playing against him. He built such a reputable program that everybody knew about, and to have his son playing in this tournament in provincials, what a terrific story. I think it was all just, you've got the Hogans that, Christina too did a lot of work for the Navigators. I remember how involved she was, and they did everything they could with that program. They were just not coaches. I know they were GMs. They were they're looking after marketing. They were doing everything there, but to have his son be part of it, what a special, special moment.